Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi. It's weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. On a much better day today, our storm is long gone. The winds have subsided, and we are starting out the day with some sunshine. Just taking a look at the watches and warnings across the country. Other than the fact that, and this is a little unusual, but because we have cold air coming down from Canada, and it will be doing that on a regular basis over the next week to 10 days, and the growing season has already started over much of the southern half of the U.S. Certainly, we've got freeze warnings and frost advisories that we're going to have to deal with. We had some overnight into this morning. We'll probably have some tonight into tomorrow morning. Some leftover flash flood watches up in northern Maine, with rain combining with the heavy snowmelt, and a little bit of winter weather going on up in the northern Rockies. Other than that, I think we're in fairly good shape today. There isn't too much happening with regards to the satellite loop this morning. We're seeing a few clouds streaming out to the west that run back southwestward down into Kansas and Oklahoma. This is the next round of cloud cover and maybe a little bit of precip that we're going to see overnight into Wednesday morning. One of the things that's occurred is that our cold front that went through yesterday late afternoon is stalled out across the southeast. So there's going to be a little bit of a wave that's going to develop on that front and is going to run out to the northeast. It's not really going to develop very much until it's well offshore. So what we are thinking is that we'll probably see much of the area from northeastern Virginia to southern New England get into some cloud cover as we go through the day tonight into tomorrow. There'll be an area of rain that I think goes through the mid-Atlantic states. Maybe the northern edge of that rain gets to about Philadelphia and New York City for a very brief time tonight into tomorrow morning before all of that moves out. Probably be a steadier rain down over the Delmarva Peninsula, parts of Maryland into northeastern Virginia, and we're not talking about anything really severe here. So that is that's a good thing. And with respect to the Storm Prediction Center, uh, we have a slight risk of severe weather near that frontal boundary in southeast Georgia and in northern Florida, with a marginal risk on either side of that. It's a relatively small area of risk that we're seeing for today into tomorrow. And then as we move on into the longer range forecast period, we're not really seeing anything from the standpoint of a major severe weather risk for the rest of this week, thankfully. And with the rainfall weather systems being on the weak side, yeah, there's going to be some heavy rains in North Florida and Southeast Georgia because of thunderstorms. But other than that, over the next 7 days, much of the nation is going to be seeing mostly light to occasionally moderate areas of rain. The blue areas are talking about an inch and a half or more over a 7 day period. In the northern Rockies, what you're seeing here is probably going to be in the form of snow. In the Northeast, down into northern New Jersey, into much of Pennsylvania, we're talking about rainfall amounts over the next 7 days of basically a half an inch or less, and then you start to get into the 3/4 of an inch to an inch as you go further south down into Virginia and North Carolina. So it's a relatively quiet, benign period. Here's your front that's offshore. High pressure weakly building in today. The frontal boundary heading down through southern Georgia and northern Florida, where you see the severe weather risk. And then again, we have this flattish wave that's going to develop on this front and bring with it a little bit of rain. So if you take a look here at the GFS model from overnight, I think much of today is just going to be sunshine and arriving clouds. You see this wave that develops, and there might even be a little bit of snow on the northwest fringe of this in West Virginia and southwestern Pennsylvania, particularly in areas where there might be a little bit of elevation. I don't think it amounts to much. And then that wave goes out tomorrow, early tomorrow morning. This is at 2 a.m. You can see that northern fringe of that rain in southern New Jersey to just south of New York City, touching Long Island briefly. And by morning, you start to see the area begin to slide out to the east. Another weak weather front will come through for tomorrow night with clouds and maybe an isolated rain or snow shower. And then it's chilly and dry for Thursday. Here comes the next weather system for later Friday into Friday night, early Saturday, and there could be a little bit of wet snow here on the northern fringe as well as low pressure rides up into eastern Kentucky and moves off the mid-Atlantic coast. Looks like we'll probably have some lingering rain or showers early Saturday morning, and then weather conditions should improve for later Saturday into Sunday. And there's your next cold front that comes through Sunday night into Monday. A busy weather pattern, but really not a whole lot from the standpoint of anything of strength. We're not talking about major storms here. We're just talking about these relatively minor systems that will be moving right along. And as for temperatures today, which really didn't drop down very far last night, we bottomed out most areas bottomed out in the 40s. We'll be seeing highs today mostly in the middle to a few upper 50s, depending on how much sun we get. And then tomorrow, Wednesday, looking for temperatures to be just a shade lower than today, probably in the low 50s, low and mid 50s. So we'll knock off a few degrees off of that. And then as we take it down through the rest of the week and into the weekend, temperatures are going to be on the chilly side of average. Remember, we're at the time of year now where the average high should be in the 60s just about every day. And we're going to be a good 5 to 10 degrees lower than that. So below average temperatures are going to be with us in the longer term. So that wraps it up today on Weather in 5. We actually kept it relatively reasonable. We're just a little bit over. Joe and Joe Weather Show tonight on my YouTube channel, the Joe Cioffi. That's at 7 o'clock Eastern Time, and we hope to see you there.